Yeah.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am the lovely London girl, and today is going to be an advice video. I don't normally do advice videos. I think this might be my second one. I think the first one was a bit of a funny one. It was based on Valentine's Day, and I was speaking in my African Nigerian accent, and I was saying, you know, you should be okay with being single. You shouldn't try and get a babe just for Valentine's Day, which is quite funny. But today's video is going to be about having confidence in your dark skin. Now, I know there are obviously some channels on YouTube, a lot of channels on YouTube, who focus on dark skinned women and dark skinned women empowerment and black women empowerment, but I didn't do too much research into whether there were any advice videos as to how you could be more confident in your skin. If there are, I'm sure you'd find them. A lot of advice videos out there that say love yourself and be confident and all of this stuff, but I'm gonna try maybe to give you a few different tips, more practical stuff that you can hopefully apply in your life, and just be more confident. You know, you only live once. Life is really short, very cliche, I know, but it's true, and you want to make sure you live your best life, and so I'm going to try and help you do that. Now, apologies if the audio isn't great or if you hear a bass sound in the background. I don't live by myself, I live with family, and so I can't control the noise I make sometimes. So yeah, apologies if there is some background noise. I've got some notes on my phone, so you might see me glance down a couple of times, apologies for that, but I just want to make sure I cover everything. Okay, so tip number one is to become accustomed to yourself and to really get to know you and what you look like physically. I would say stand in front of the mirror and take it all in. Take in your flaws, the things that make you feel uncomfortable, the features that make you beautiful. Stand there, become accustomed to it, look at yourself, and do it daily until you become comfortable with looking at yourself in the mirror. It could be naked, it could be in your underwear, doesn't really matter, but make sure you're looking at the things that make you uncomfortable and speak positivity into existence. Speak to yourself, tell yourself how much you love yourself. If you don't feel like you love yourself, maybe mention the things that you think are good about yourself. Maybe you like your smile, maybe you like your gap teeth, or maybe you like the shape of your nose or the texture of your hair. Maybe you like how smart you are, or how good you are with doing makeup or hair, or how creative you are. Anything it is, tell yourself about the good things in you and why you're a good person and why you deserve to be loved. Do this daily or as much as you need to until you start to feel comfortable looking at yourself in the mirror. Personally, before, I used to avoid reflective surfaces and mirrors, and it was just like I just always thought I didn't look good. And I'm very honest with myself. If I don't look good, I'm not going to be like I'm still looking. No, I'll say, oh, I look ugly today, or I look bad today, and I didn't really blag. I was just being really honest. I would avoid looking at mirrors in public and walking past reflective surfaces just because I didn't think I looked any good. But then I started to really pay attention to myself, my face, what it looks like, and I became aware of myself and what I looked like physically, and so that made me more comfortable. So if anyone was ever to say anything horrible, and you know yourself, and so you're like, actually that's not true, or even if that might be true, I've seen that and I've become comfortable with that and I'm okay with it, and so whatever they say doesn't really matter. I know who I am and I have become comfortable with it, and I love myself anyway. Tip number two is really important. This is about dark skin. This video is about dark skin. Don't see having dark skin as a bad thing, because it's not. I believe in God, and I believe that God creates everybody the way that we're supposed to be. So if you're watching this and you have a broad nose, or you have a narrow nose, or you're big, or you're slim, you're tall, you're short, you have 4C hair, or you have 3A hair, or you have straight wavy hair, whatever the case might be, you were created to be the way you are now. There is no other way you were meant to be. And when you start to understand that, and you start to believe that, and you start to tell yourself that, you will stop comparing yourself to other people. You know, comparison is the killer of all joy. And of course, in this day and age with social media, with Instagram, Lord knows Instagram can make you feel some type of way about yourself. Oh my gosh. And even with Tumblr as well, you're just flicking through, you're looking at pictures, and everyone looks nice, everyone looks amazing, everyone looks happy, everyone looks beautiful. I've seen girls, dark skinned girls or any other girls, and I'm like, I want to look like that. Sometimes I'm like, am I even dark enough? Like, I think I need to like get darker, because these girls are just smashing it, and you know, they look amazing, they look beautiful. And not to bring them down, but not everything you see is true. Some of these girls would have had plastic surgery, some of these girls would have been photoshopped. Nothing's wrong with that. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. But I'm just saying, be aware that it's not always as true as you might think. It's not real all the time. And so when you compare yourself to these people who may have, and who most likely have been transformed or photoshopped or doctored in some way, you're comparing yourself to an unrealistic standard. And that does nothing for your self-confidence, and it does nothing for you, because you were designed to be unique. You were designed to be you, and no one else can be you. And that really is your power. Also, to add on to that, I would say take your self-care really, really seriously, which means blocking those people who don't bring positive energy into your life. And that might be unsubscribing from certain people on YouTube, maybe unfollowing certain people on Twitter, not watching certain videos by people who you know are going to bring you down based on your skin tone or based on your looks. You know, there are many people on YouTube who make videos targeted at dark-skinned black women to bring them down and to make them feel bad. Don't watch them. I've seen some, you know, and at the end of the video you just feel bad and you start to question yourself, and everything just gets into your head. So everything, when you walk around on the street, everything's now about, oh, are they treating me this way because of this or because of that? And you don't want to be living your life like that. You want to be living your life free of this kind of insecurity or this chip on your shoulder. You don't want to be doing that. You want to be living your life free, walking the streets, knowing that yes, people might dislike you based on superficial reasons, but that is no reason why you're not going to be joyful and you're not going to be happy and you're not going to do the things that you want to do. So I'd say cut out those people or those things that aren't bringing you positive energy, and take your energy and your space very seriously. Tip number 3 would be to develop yourself, and that's in whatever you want to do. So whether you want to be a lawyer, a doctor, a musician, an artist, a makeup artist, a hairstylist, perfect your craft. Get to know the ins and outs of the career path you want to do. Go out and meet new people in that field. Open your network. You know, really hone in your craft and become better, because the better you become at what you want to do, the more confident you feel in yourself. And when you have that confidence, no one can tell you anything about the way you look or about anything about yourself. You know who you are, you've got the skills, you've got the ability, you're capable, and no one can bring you down, even if people try and block you, because everyone knows there are people in this world who try and block your blessing, try to block your progression. Even when they try to persist, you know that's not going to get to you, that's not going to get to your core, because you know that you've got what it takes to get to where you want to get to. And even if you miss that one opportunity, that's not going to knock your confidence. You know that you have it, and that the next opportunity will be yours, and go for it. Just go for it. Tip number 5 is more about a fashiony one. I would say wear colours that complement your dark skin. Don't be afraid to wear bold and bright colours. Don't be afraid to stand out. And I know sometimes even a subdued colour can look bold and bright on your skin tone, and it's a bit annoying because when it comes to makeup, it's a whole other story. But don't be scared. Don't let anyone tell you that, oh, you know, dark skinned girls shouldn't really wear this lip colour, or they shouldn't really wear neon colours, or they shouldn't really wear grey or white or whatever it might be. Wear whatever you want to wear, and wear it with confidence. One tip to kind of get into this, if you're too nervous about wearing colour, is to maybe buy one item which is a pop of colour and try it out and test it out. So it could be a nail varnish, it could be a blazer, it could be a jacket, it could even be a hair colour. And maybe you might want to put it in an ombre form, so it's only at the tips of your hair as opposed to the roots of your hair, and you really just test it out. You walk out the house, you see, you know, how you're liking it. You don't really pay attention to people's negative comments, because we don't care about the negative comments. We only care about what we think. And so you test it out there, you know, you test it out slowly, and if you feel like you're becoming more comfortable and you're liking it, go ahead and buy more colourful clothes. Never be afraid to wear colour, because colour is best suited on dark skin, in my opinion. Look at my makeup, you know, it's not conventional that a dark skinned girl would wear this, because there are labels that come across a girl with dark skin who wears this kind of makeup, and the labels are ghetto, ratchet, you know, if you have pink hair then you're ghetto, or if you have long colourful nails, you know, you're ratchet, or you're this, you're that. And I know a lot of those stereotypes are American based, like the terminology ghetto and ratchet. Ratchet is definitely American, ghetto is either or, but that whole stereotype is definitely stemmed from a negative stereotype of Black American or African American women. But that same stereotype has travelled across into the UK, and those same words are still used to describe certain groups of people. We still face that kind of discrimination, that kind of labelling over here in the UK. Despite that, don't be afraid to wear bold colours and bright colours. Be confident in yourself. A prime example of being bold is me. I'm not afraid to wear bold colours. I buy orange clothes, orange nail varnish, orange lipstick. I'm wearing really bold makeup right now. I just think it's fun. I think it's really creative, and I am not going to let my dark skin inhibit me in any way. I shouldn't have to live a life separate to other people, different to other people, because of my skin tone. I think that's stupid. Wear whatever you want to wear. You know, don't be scared, don't be afraid, don't put too much attention on other people's opinions of yourself. So if someone calls you ghetto, or they call you ratchet, or they call you whatever it is that you don't like, you know who you are, and you know that those things aren't true. So let it bounce. Let them bounce off your skin. Bounce. Hear them and let them pass through. We don't care about the negative comments. We don't care about what they have to say. All we care about is our view of ourselves, and in my personal opinion, in God's view of myself as well. Another tip would be to travel. Now, I think traveling can open your horizons. You can learn so much more about the world and about yourself when you travel. And from my personal experience, I have been to Barcelona, I have been to Berlin, and I have been to Paris. And each time was amazing. Each of those cities have black people in them, of course, and of course there will be people who might be racist towards certain groups of people in those separate cities. But despite that, my personal experience was that everybody was very welcoming. Everyone was very nice and open, very polite. You know, no one was in your face. You didn't feel like people were following you around the stores, which happens to me in London, unfortunately. Happens to me every time I walk into a store. Really annoying. But in Europe, it seemed people were a bit more laid back, a bit more chilled. Now, I'm not saying there isn't racism in Europe and there aren't anti-black sentiments in these countries. Of course, there must be. But what I'm saying is, when you travel and you open your horizons, you learn that not everyone is the same. And you learn so much about other people, and in turn about yourself. You know, I think life experience and learning about life is one of the most important types of education you can gain. It's not taught at university, it's not taught at school, it's taught by you going out there and taking a chance and being open to the people that are around you in different surroundings. Me personally, I find it so fascinating. When I go to a new country, I get so happy. Any kind of depression that I might have been feeling when I was home, I don't feel it no more. I just get excited. I don't really like flying too much, but I like going to new places. Even if it's a new part of London or a new part of England, I really want to go. I just want to get out there and explore. And when you do that, you realise that life is bigger than your room, and it's bigger than your street, and it's bigger than the people who are around you. When you go out there, you realise there's so much more to life, and there's so much more to discover. And what are you doing staying in your room when you have the whole world ahead of you? My final tip would be for you to read poetry that acknowledges your plight and that offers healing. Now, when I say that, I say that coming from a place where, when I was studying at school and during my A-levels in college, I studied English literature. It's one of my favourite topics. We studied English literature, and almost all of the poets were white, and they were either deceased, or they were really old, or they were middle class, so far removed from me, my struggles, my plights, and the things that might have affected me. None of those people really identified with me, and I couldn't really identify with them. So a few years ago, I heard of Nayyirah Waheed, and I also heard of Wilson Shire, and also Yasser Daly Ward. Those are three of my top female black poets. Their poetry is separate and different to the poetry I studied in school because they are black women, and they understand the struggles of black women, and they understand some of the things that we all go through as black women, and their words truly offered some healing to me. I have all of their books on my phone, and I read them on the train sometimes, and sometimes I just read to kind of get away from people staring at me, or awkward moments, or when I'm bored, and just reading their words really brings calm to me. Definitely find poems or poetry that to you provide healing, because words are really powerful, and the more positivity and the more positive words that you can get into your life, the more light is shone. And I also write as well. So I was approached last year to take part in an anthology, which is now published and it's available on Amazon. I also write personally on my own website, lovelylondongurl.com. A lot of my poetry, I'll describe it as honest, open and raw, and so you can definitely check it out. So guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it was really useful for you. If so, please comment down below and tell me which tip was your favourite, or anything that stood out to you, or any advice you might have. And also you can share your experiences so that other people can relate and kind of vent and know that it's not just them. And I will see you in my next one. Be free and love yourself.
Yeah. I don't need tools, and I don't need a process. I just need a feeling.